Great. Welcome back, everyone, to what is still the very first day of the SATNAC Industry Solutions Challenge finale week. We began this morning with the presentation from different students around the country on a topic posed by Amdocs related to hyper-personalized customer support. And we are continuing this afternoon with again, another topic that is sponsored by Amdocs within the telco industry, still looking at now fraud detection and looking at the use of intelligent technologies like AI to support telcos and other industries in fraud detection. I am going to allow our Amdocs subject matter expert to say a few words again about this topic, just for context as we begin this new session. And again, just to remind some of the audience members who are joining us for the first time that this is a program by the SATNAC conference. SATNAC is the Southern African Telecommunication Networks and Applications Conference, now in its 26th year, hosted by Telkom, with the objective of shaping and advancing technology and ICTs in South Africa and in the African continent, doing so by investing significantly in locally grown research, in investing in the training and development of young innovators, of young researchers. And this program, the Innovation and Industry Solutions Challenge, is one form of implementing that vision. Our sponsors, our diamond sponsors, Amdocs being one of our valued sponsors, have issued challenges of industry to challenge students to think about the solutions. And in doing so, again, training them to get them ready for industry, training them to apply their academic knowledge and the research expertise, and hopefully share those insights that benefit companies like Amdocs and us in general in industry and in society in thinking about these types of technologies. So before we get to the description, I think, of the topic to Pratik, let me allow then my panel members, our esteemed judges who are here with us today, to again quickly reintroduce themselves, as some of our audience members may have missed the morning introductions. I will begin with our Professor Thomas at the end, and just to reiterate that our panel of judges is made of experts and executives from within the companies that sponsor these topics. We are also looking at incorporating perspectives from other parts of industry as well as experts from academia. And you'll hear as our judges introduce themselves just now. Professor Thomas.
Hi, my name is Thomas Endorsing. I am an associate professor at Wits University. My research interest is in the space of operational efficiency and customer experience management. I'm really excited for this opportunity, and I look forward to seeing those wonderful presentations. I've already read their report, and I look forward to these wonderful sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Hi, I'm Promise Mabena from ABSA Group under Tech Enablement, and we are maintaining systems for finance. And I'm very excited. The presentations are looking good, and I'm looking forward to see all these innovative ideas being brought to life.
Thank you.
Hello, and a warm welcome to everybody. I'm Satish, Customer Business Executive from Amdocs. Amdocs, Telkom, and SATNAC had been in partnership for 25 years plus. What I'm looking so forward to is interacting with the young brains. That's the most amazing thing that I'm looking forward to today. And good luck to all of you.
Great. I think, Satish, before we go over to Pratik to describe the topic, let's step back for our audience members who maybe don't know about Amdocs. It's a global company, or Amdocs in South Africa, just to understand what the company does, and also then maybe to contextualize the problem we are dealing with today as one of the services that you offer within the industry.
Sure. So Amdocs has been serving the telecommunication industry for more than 40 years. They are the world leaders, and serving in South Africa and rest of the Africa as well, in the BSS and the OSS area. We continuously evolve in terms of the technology and innovation, and we participate with passion in terms of growing a South African talent, in terms of young students, in terms of offering them an internship into Amdocs and letting them experience what we are giving to telco industry across the globe. And Amdocs in particular is very much passionate about Gen AI, and Gen AI being the core topic of the SATNAC conference this time. We are very much thrilled to be part of this sponsorship, as well as the challenge topic that we have chosen with our teams, and looking forward for an exciting entertainment.
Great. Pratik? You may introduce yourself and then maybe give us some background into the topic to contextualize the solutions that we'll be hearing, to understand what the students were specifically solving for.
Yeah. So hi everyone again. My name is Pratik. I am part of Amdocs group and I deal with the solutions. So definitely much excited. Okay, great presentations. Okay, we have seen in the morning, and still further excited to see and deep dive into the second topic. Okay, which is given. So what is the second topic? Second topic is about the fraud detection. Throughout the globe, okay, all the telcos currently, or the major problem that telcos suffer with is to detect the fraud. Whether it is on the prepaid sales side or on the postpaid side. On prepaid side we see a lot of sales happen, but the revenue is not up to the par as per the sales. And on postpaid side we see that okay, a lot of revenue, okay, leakage, okay, that happens. Okay, the devices are being taken up by the telcos, okay, but the revenue is not realized. So what are we looking forward for? What we are looking forward for is a solution which is a proactive solution in prepaid and postpaid sales using okay the generative AI technology. That how do we prevent these frauds? Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much, Pratik. I believe that the teams are getting ready to go into the presentations. And one thing to note, also reflecting on this morning's session, is when the students began this journey, right, we assigned them to a company, Co-Innovation Studios, CUI, to train them from the beginning of the innovation process. And the critical part, and I think I heard it from the CEO this morning, which is understanding the problem by itself is a significant journey in the innovation, because we have students who, I mean, we know about fraud, we know about SIM swaps at a very basic level, and seeing the students go from deeply researching the problem, understanding the problem from an industry point of view, understanding how much fraud costs, for telecommunications companies, etc. That by itself was a significant learning, and they were taken all the way through the journey into deeply, deeping into the types of solutions that they can build upon, and all the way until financial modeling, as you will hear. I'm just mentioning that so that as we listen to the students, we remember that their journey to this has been 3, almost 4 months of learning, and following a very methodical way of solving for industry. And we are very proud for how much and how far you guys have gone. So let's switch over now to the team to present. You have 10 minutes, after which you will receive a set of questions from our panel of judges. I see you already. We may proceed.
Thank you very much. Can you hear us?
Yes, we can hear you well.
All right. My name is Stanford Lamini. I'm with Isoletu. We are from Quants. We'll be presenting a project suite, which is a solution to the telecom fraud problem, particularly subscription fraud and unauthorized SIM swaps, which has led to significant revenue losses and security risk for both telecom companies and customers. Statistically, in 2019, global telecom fraud resulted in losses of approximately $32.7 billion, which is 76% of mobile banking and fraud involving unauthorized SIM swaps. Our solution is a two-part solution, with the first part being a fraud detection model, which is a machine learning-powered system that monitors and detects anomalies in real time, flagging suspicious activities like silent billing changes and unusual usage patterns. The second part is the SIM swapping and number checking system, which is a secure system using biometric verification to authenticate users during SIM swaps and cross-checking registered numbers to prevent unauthorized registration.
Sorry to interrupt you, Tim. If you could maybe put your slides into slideshow mode, it will make it easier for the judges and the online audience to consume the content, please.
Okay. Is it visible that side?
Yeah, I mean, just go into presentation mode. We can see your slides.
We have.
You are. Okay, proceed.
Yes, we are in presentation mode.
Okay, proceed. There's probably a delay on our side. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, the value proposition for telecom companies, one of them is to reduce revenue losses from subscription fraud. For banks, is the protection of mobile banking customers from unauthorized SIM swaps. And for our customers, we ensure a secure and seamless mobile experience. In our business model canvas, we'll highlight the cost structure, which has the fixed cost that includes the infrastructure. We have the system integration, and then we have the data acquisition part. Our revenue streams include subscription fees, where we project 500,000 rand annually from telecom companies and banks using the system. We also have transaction-based fees, where we have 5 rand per verified transaction or SIM swap, with an estimated of 300,000 rand yearly. Our overall projection is approximately 1,150,000 rand per year, subject to growth and adoption as it increases.
So now the big question is, what makes our solution special? Our solution adapts to new fraud patterns using AI and machine learning, making it smart over time. Traditional systems can't keep up like this. Now, we offer a unified platform combining fraud detection and SIM swap prevention. This integration means fewer security gaps. Also, we have our facial recognition biometric verification, which adds top-level security. It's nearly impossible for fraudsters to perform unauthorized SIM swaps since facial data is unique. With real-time alerts and anomaly detection, immediate action is possible to prevent fraud before it comes to harm. Now, for our contingency plan, understanding that no system is perfect, to have built a robust contingency plan. In case of a data breach, we use encryption and access controls to limit exposure, isolating affected areas for quick resolution. If our fraud detection model flatters a fallback rule-based system, maintains protection while we retrain the model with fresh data. We also want to compile with the data protection regulations that are out there, just like the GDPR, which helps our customers avoid fines, and also Amdocs as a company fines and build customer trust. Now into our demo. Our system monitors transactions, which now this is the fraud detection part, in real time, flagging anomalies like sudden billing spikes or unusual usage patterns. Upon detection, suspicious activity it sends real-time alerts to both the user and the telecom provider for immediate intervention. During the SIM swap process, users must verify their identity using facial recognition and confirm ownership of their number through number checking. This double verification ensures only legitimate users can make changes. The number checking step now that is also added is an extra layer by verifying that the user phone number before proceeding. Our system learns and adapts with each interaction, and this is all thanks to AI and machine learning, which improves accuracy over time. Now I would like to take you through our demo. Sorry.
Thumbs up and I'd like to take you through the SIM swap and number checking system that we have created. First and foremost, for every software system, there should be a login, and firstly a person has to register. So I'd like to take you through the registration. So here, this is where you register and input your information into the system. Firstly, you're going to drop your ID, and then after that, you input your name. You can input your ID number, and then after your ID number, you have to input code, your password that you'd like to register. Then you submit. once that has been done, successfully been registered, you go into your login. Now, you log into the system. So, fortunately, it automatically and brings back from your registration. But if you are an old user, you'll have to input. You're going to input just the number checking, because you already inputted your details on the other side. The numbers that are registered within your phone number will appear. Okay, these are the numbers. And if ever then a number that you believe does not exist, you will have an option to then take further actions, either by reporting the number or either by reporting that this number right here does not exist, or it's not my number. And thereafter, more investigations can be done. But within those options, okay, so I kind of went back by mistake. Sorry about that.
Sorry, Tim, I know it seems that you're playing a recorded demo. Do you know how far you are from the conclusion? You have now less than a minute left.
Yes,
Okay.
we were almost concluding.
All right, please proceed.
Swap part, you have to input the number that you want to SIM swap, and then you submit that number. Once it has been submitted, this is like a form of some sort, and you're submitting that you'd like to make a SIM swap over this number. You have to do now a verification performance or channel for us to verify that you are within our system. You do actually exist, and you're actually a real person, not a deep fake. As we are currently moving into artificial intelligence, it's very important to safeguard ourselves in that environment. So what you do here, you have to go through a liveness check where I will prompt you to blink, smile. So here I am. Here I am. Then after, you'll have to just drop in your ID, and then it will just do a facial recognition by comparing your ID with the captured image. So it is successful. But it does happen, so I want to see if ever I would submit an ID that is not mine. So I have a few IDs here, and then I submit. Therefore, this indicates that you do not exist within the system. Afterwards, now what happens on the other side, on the organization side, we're able to get some prompts or some information on whenever you make a response. So the response thesis has come back to us within our system. For this section, so within this part, you're going to put in your data set. So I have a small testing data set that I kind of extracted from. There we go. So here it just to test the data set previews 15,000 rows within our data set, and then after that it shows the prediction distribution right here. So basically, some of the data sets that we found, to find that the prediction of frauds were very little to none.
Great.
Thank you much.
Thank you, Tim. I think before we go to the panel for questions, please let's get you introduced properly to the judges and our audience. I know your name is Tim Quantz. Please tell us about yourselves, where you're studying, your level of study, etc., and maybe what the name of the team means. So what inspired the name of your team?
Okay. Thank you very much, ma'am, for this opportunity. My name is Mapanga Sizoletu. I'm doing information science at the University of Eswatini, and with me is Stanford Dlamini. He is currently doing engineering, electrical engineering at the University of Eswatini. Well, for us, Quants is a name that we were able to adopt from learning about quantitative analysis. Okay. So it was inspired from that aspect, and we actually thought like, no, it kind of motivates us to perform quantitative analysis and also learn more into that space. Thank you.
Excellent, thank you. All right, I'll come over now to our judges for any questions. We probably have time for only 2 questions, depending on how long the team will take to respond. I'm not sure who will go first.
Okay.
Promise?
Okay. That was a great presentation, great concept. I'm picking up a few things that are similar to the eSIM way of getting it, and that's what makes it great. My question is, we currently have SIM cards that aren't registered to our names. So with this process, how do we go about then having them registered? Because if I want to do a SIM swap and I was not even registered there, you know, how am I going to get the SIM swap? For people that are buying SIM cards at township shops, you know, the SIM card is already recorded. I don't know if you know the process of RICA, but it's already recorded in somebody else's name, and you don't have to go through that process, but you have a number now that belongs to you, that you've been owning for years and years, and you lose it. How do you do a SIM swap there?
Okay, thank you very much. I hope I'm hearing you right, ma'am. So you're asking, how do we now understand if this number that is being SIM swapped is really my number? Am I getting it right, ma'am?
Yes. How do you get registered there already? Because I believe that you'll be probably getting who's registered through the RICA system. But we've got a huge number of people that are not recorded the right way because of where they're buying their SIM cards. So does this mean for us to be able to be registered there, this needs new SIM cards that will be registered, or with the same SIM cards that we have that aren't in our names? How do we get SIM swaps?
Okay. So first and foremost, from my understanding, a SIM card is within the Eswatini sphere, and also some places where I have seen. Most of the SIM cards that people have are actually registered towards their names within that company that they are registering with, if maybe it's MTN. But if it happens now, you're just a new user, it will allow us within the platform to allow users to register, and then the Amdocs or the company itself, for example, MTN, will be able to verify or with checking if this number actually exists. That's why we also have a number checking system to look at numbers that are actually registered in your name. Now, to see if, do you have a number like this? Or does anyone else does this number actually already exist in the system? If yes, that is true, then the system will allow you to then make a prompt towards the telecom company, for you to be able for them to make an investigation and then bring back feedback to you. Because it does happen that already some SIM cards already have pre-existing people who own those SIM cards, and now there's a confusion who's owning which one. I hope I'm answering well.
You are, thank you.
Great. We can have maybe 1 or 2 questions from our panel.
Mine is more on false positive. It is possible network interruptions can cause false positive. What have you thought about it? What are you going to do about it? And then the next one is the large scale nature of the telco data set or database. Have you thought about it in terms of your scaling as well?
Yes. Thank you very much, sir, for the question. So basically within our demo, for the fraud detection, I'll start from that aspect. So for the fraud detection part, we had to train an actual model of about it had 63 million records. So because we didn't have enough computational power, but we believe that if we have enough computational power and also adequate training systems, then this will give us an opportunity to be able to handle the large scale of transactions that will be coming in and out. It is also important for us to look at other measures that will be integrated within our system in terms of handling large scale data. Now, for the false positives, we believe that we can implement a feedback loop where we can retrain the data and try to see how can we improve it as we continue having more transactions coming through. There are also different types of trends that come through as fraud that maybe the system before couldn't detect, but through a feedback loop, we'll be able to train the model now to see, so it'll be continuously learning if there are new trends within the market or if there are new trends within the transactions that would be happening. I hope I've answered your question, sir.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Tim. Thank you for your responses to the panel. One thing I wanted to ask Satish, right, is 2 years ago when we first started this SATNAC challenges, it was called the SATNAC Hackathon. It was sponsored by Amdocs, and we were dealing with fraud detection and SIM swaps, right? And I'm aware, maybe it's for the panel as a whole, that this is an industry-wide problem. Why aren't we cracking it? What makes it difficult? I think it's maybe, again, for our audience as a whole. And are we saying that maybe with AI becoming as powerful as it is, with machine learning becoming more capable, that we are maybe getting closer? Because one of the students, I don't know if they're presenting here, said to us during the training that unfortunately the fraudsters are outpacing the solutions. So the same AI that we are looking to use to overcome this, the fraudsters are in fact overpacing us. Why is this hard?
Yeah, I think, SIM swap or any kind of a fraud in the telco industry, it is growing as fast as your technology and solutions are growing. They find various means and things, and also international. This is not just applicable to South Africa or any particular country. It's across the globe. What we need to be focusing more on how we can protect ourselves, that where which be the focus should be, rather than can we look for a complete SIM swap fraud free era. I don't think so it will be possible. So what we should look at is how robust we can be in terms of how to learn from those kind of incidents that we go through and develop our solutions accordingly. And from this two students that have been giving there, I saw that there was a very good application of their theoretical knowledge, and they applied a solution very, very nicely, and they had a very good approach to it, probably not focusing not on the fraud aspect, but more on the how we can take the customer on in terms of fraud detection, in terms of customer take on was more focused. Then what happens afterwards is where the actual fraud starts to happen. And we have many examples that we can start to share. That can be another day for its own.
Absolutely. And that is again the beauty of this program, in that students get to understand the inner workings of some of these challenges. Again, before graduation, they understand from experts and leaders of industry, the complexities that drive some of these challenges. So moving right along, we have a team ops command, who I believe is also ready to go live. Team, if you can hear me well, begin with an introduction of yourselves, where you're studying, what you're studying towards, and then immediately get into a presentation. As always, the team names are interesting, so let us know where Ops Command comes from, what inspired the name, and let us hear what you have to pitch today. Ops Command.
Thank you very much for the opportunity, and good afternoon to everyone. So we Ops Command, nothing much behind our name, but Ops Command, we referring to our commitment towards operational excellence. Yes, just in that short context is nothing really much behind our team name. So what I will do, I will just quickly introduce ourselves. I am Emmanuel Nkosi, with a background in data science from Explore AI Academy. And joining me today is my teammate Kanu Pidani. Just a second. Oh, you already projected the screen.
Yes.
Okay.
Cool. Cool. So, yes, as I've just introduced ourselves, so together we are focusing on we are focusing on preserving customer trust and reduce financial losses in telecoms. So I will just play a very quick demo of what are we solving for.
Okay, I don't think it's having technical problems. Let me reshare. I don't know why.
No, if it's fine, let me just quickly share in the
Okay.
case.
There is no sound, Emmanuel. Let me share from my side. It's refusing to play on my side. You can share on your side, including sound. Emmanuel?
Yeah, I'm just sharing now.
Just as they're trying to figure out how to share, context about this team.
In South Africa, the telecommunications industry faces a growing challenge. Identity fraud during postpaid contract. In South Africa, the telecommunications industry faces a growing challenge. Identity fraud during postpaid contract applications. Fraudsters exploit stolen or counterfeit identities to acquire devices, leaving telecom companies with unpaid bills and significant financial losses. Fraudulent activities in telecoms are not just about financial loss. They also compromise the identities of legitimate customers. Millions of rands are lost annually due to these activities, affecting both telecom companies and individuals whose identities are misused. The financial impact on telecom companies is severe. Fraudulently acquired devices remain unpaid, leading to increased operational costs for fraud management. This not only affects the bottom line, but also risks damaging customer trust and loyalty. The root of the issue lies in inadequate fraud detection mechanisms. Current systems lack real-time capabilities, allowing fraudsters to slip through undetected. Identity verification processes are vulnerable, often detecting fraud only after it occurs, which is too late. To combat this, telecom companies need robust, intelligent solutions for real-time fraud detection and prevention. Such systems would safeguard assets, reduce financial losses, and ensure a seamless experience for legitimate customers, restoring trust in the industry. In South Africa.
Okay, cool. So our solution is a real-time fraud. It's a real-time anomaly detection and biometric verification. So, Kanu, are you sharing?
Yes, I'm sharing.
Okay, cool. So how our solution is going to work. So the user will manually input their, fill in their details and then submit. Immediately when they submit the transaction, and then the system will evaluate the provided details using a trained machine learning model, which gave us an accuracy of 96, and then it will predict whether the details that was entered from by a user, if that's a potential fraud or that's legitimate. If that's a fraudulent, it's a potential fraud, and then the system will redirect a user to a biometric verification where they will be required to upload their ID, and then the system will scan their ID, and then it will redirect the user to a live scan, so where they will be capturing their face, which is performing the facial recognition. So, and then the system will return the results on the telecom side. So on the telecom side, they will be able to see and monitor the real-time application, contract application, and then they will be able to take the next step. I mean, actually to act on the fraudulent transactions, the transactions that we predicted as potential fraud, and then they will be able to visualize that on the dashboard. So the dashboard will be displaying an explainability where you, I as a fraudster, I as a fraud analyst, I will be able to tell what was the reason behind the prediction. For instance, if it predicted this transaction as a potential fraud, and then it will display on the dashboard what was the reason behind. Maybe that was unusual monthly bill, and then it will send the alerts to the telecom site.
Okay, so what is our value proposition? So we are promising reduced fraud losses and minimizing financial loss for the telecom company. We have an enhanced solution which is geared at a layered fraud prevention, machine learning algorithm, and biometrics. For customers, we are offering them that they now will be sure that their transactions are secure and no one will be using their identity for fraudulent activities. And we have a seamless experience, efficient and reliable process for contract approvals for our customers. What makes our solution special is it is very cost effective. We offer a strong fraud prevention prevention method without expensive infrastructure, as we will be hosting our system in the cloud, and also we minimize financial fraud losses and deliver significant saving in a long term. We have reduced fraud operational efficiencies, and telecoms providers get excellent values for their investment, and we combat fraud with a multi-layer, with just not a machine learning algorithm, but also a biometrics scan. So we are going into our demo. So in our demo, what we do is this: how the customer will fill in their form as when they're doing an application for a contract. So after they fill in their application for the contract, on the end side, the telecom will get a screen which will tell them whether that transaction was a potential fraud or a legitimate transaction. So after that, a customer will be asked to submit their ID photo, and when they have submitted their ID photo, we need to verify the face in the ID and their face if they are matched, so that we can know that we are delivering a service to the right customer. So once the scan has been made, it will match the face, the customer's face, and the face in the ID, and it will say the face does not match. If the face is not matching, that means the customer is the potential fraud, and we cannot continue with their transaction. Then if the face is a match, then the customer will be verified and we can be able to provide a service for them. And thank you very much.
Excellent, excellent. Thank you very much, Tim. I was going to mention just before they started that Telkom and our subsidiary BCX received data science interns every year through the program that has traditionally been called Explore AI Academy. I think it's now called SATNAC, right? And many of these data scientists come to our team, and in R&D we host some of the students. And when they come to us, they are positioned within our industry solutions lab at WITS. And some of the students that you're seeing are actually through that pipeline as well. Some of them are actually mentored in some capacity by Professor Thomas and other experts in our lab, introducing them to industry solutions. So again, very happy to see them pitching some of these solutions today. Many questions from the judges to the team?
Yeah, I will go first in this time because I was quite impressed with the way the presentation was done. That's well done. One aspect of the question that I have is as soon as the user is inputting the data, then you said there will be a real-time analysis of some sort. I think this is probably one of your core part of the solution. If you can maybe detail what is that you are planning to do before you're going to allow the customer to proceed.
Okay, so we have potential fraud that has been happening in the past, and we have a history of this potential fraud, right? To say these are more people who are most likely to, this is most likely the fraud that is happening based on people's income, how much of a device are they looking for, and also based on the history to say these people are more likely to fall into phishing, because most of this fraud happened because of phishing. So we're going to analyze that based on the previous model and put it into our AI model to say, okay, given this person is high rate, that the person behind this is not the actual person whose details were being given. Then we then ask the person either to do a facial recognition or to go continue with the application in a store instead of doing an online application.
Great, thank you very much. Any follow-up or other questions?
Yeah,
yes,
I like how the problem and the solution are clearly explained here. My question is this limited to just telecoms, or it can be expanded to other industries? Looking at
this can be,
how fraud is happening everywhere.
Yeah, this can be expanded to any industry, given if you look at our solution, because our solution works on previous fraud in that industry and also works on facial recognition. So it can also be put into banking to say before, if we suspect something is happening, which is a fraudulent activity, we can just say, you know what, you can just scan your face and we verify it with the ID that you already submitted when you opened your account. So it can be put into any industry. It can work with any industry.
Great. One last question from the panel, if any.
So what I wanted to understand is how does it differ from a regular biometric, okay, that can be done, or okay, or facial recognition that can be done. Okay, you can submit your ID, you can do a face recognition then and there itself. What kind of means, okay, means it goes back to Satish, okay, what he asked as well. How does it differ from traditional method of verification? What additional benefits are you bringing, okay, into your solution?
All right. So traditional method of verification can be tricked with a photo, but right now we're offering not just a facial recognition of just if the photo is the same, but we're also offering a liveness check to see is the person behind the camera real and alive, and also that also to say is it a photo or is it just a person. And we also say we're not just doing a facial recognition, we are also looking at the model to say, okay, is this a potential fraud or not?
Yes, so just to also jump in there, we also looked at some competitors who have also kind of similar solution, which is ID verification. But what makes this a bit different is that, okay, the current verification, ID verification they have, it's just a matter of verifying if that ID is not synthetic, and also to and of which is very common that somebody might use, I mean, a fraudster might use somebody's ID unauthorized. And so in this case, so it's very critical for the fraudster because it has to capture certain characteristics from the ID photo and to compare to what they have. I mean, to compare in real time with the real time photo. So yes, that's it.
Great, thank you very much, Tim. Thank you. Is there any follow-up? I think we're okay with the comments to this team. We will have some overall comments addressing this topic towards the end. We have one last presentation in this session, and indeed the last topic among all of the Amdocs sponsored presentations today. We have yet another team from Eswatini called Team Eswatini, who will be presenting shortly. And just as a reminder, we had a presentation in the previous session by the Team Cyber Gang, who are also competing within the same topic, but they had to go earlier in order to attend to some academic commitments. I want to believe that Team Eswatini must be ready. And as our last presenters of this session, please indicate that the team is ready to proceed.
Yes, we are ready.
Excellent, thank you. All right.
Yes, we are ready.
Please proceed.
Please let us know if our presentation is visible.
Not yet.
Let me just try to share again.
We are seeing what appears to be your browser. So your screen is showing. Just not sure if that's the window you're intending on presenting from. Great. Thank you.
You can see the slides now.
Yes, we can. Thank you. Proceed.
Okay, thank you so much. Let me just go straight to our presentation. Now, imagine a world where telecom fraud costs millions daily, an industry plagued by sophisticated fraudsters exploiting system vulnerabilities faster than traditional detection can catch. So telecom providers lose not just money, but customer trust. Now imagine a solution that doesn't just fight known frauds, but learn to outsmart new threats as they emerge. That's what we're here to solve. Good day, I'm Bandile Malaza. I'm with my team, Wandile Hlachwago and Tsidi Sohlope from the University of Eswatini. We are all studying Bachelor of Science in Information Technology at our final level. So we are excited to introduce CISA Telco 99, the game-changing fraud detection system designed to revolutionize fraud prevention in the telecom sector. So what are we solving for? So fraud in telecom industry has evolved from single credit abuse to complex SIM card swaps and usage fraud. Today's fraudsters are more sophisticated than ever. Telecom providers are grappling with real-time fraud threats leading to revenue loss, operational inefficiencies, and customer churn. But here's the good news. CISA Telco 99 is built to not only detect, but anticipate fraud before it strikes. Some of the key challenges that we are facing is identifying the complex fraud patterns in the vast, rapid changing data that we're always receiving, limited ability to detect new unknown types of fraud before the significant damage is done. And then we've got lack of transparency in automated fraud detection, leading to distrust in results and systems. And then now we have manual intervention processes that delay fraud response, impacting operational inefficiency. So Our solution is a real-time hybrid detection system that combines big data analytics, explainable AI, large language models, and advanced ensemble machine learning models. The system processes large volumes of data in real time, leveraging an ensemble models, which include random forests, XGBoost, and support vector machine to detect fraud with high accuracy. Explainable AI coupled with large language models will be using Llama 3.1 from Meta, which helps us provide clear natural language explanations for fraud transactions, ensuring transparency. So we trained our model and achieved a 96% accuracy and 100% area under the K. And then a 98% average precision recall score, indicating its effectiveness in detecting. So one will be detecting usage fraud, credit abuse, device fraud, SIM card fraud, and subscription fraud. So our model is trained to analyze all the patterns. It's trained to analyze patterns that lead to this kind of fraud being occurring. So I'll let my colleague take on to how does this system work.
So good afternoon, everyone. I hope I'm clear. So yes, our system, CESA Telco 99, will allow the user to log on. After logging on, it will redirect the user to the dashboard where there are some bit of data analytics and real-time and real-time monitoring. So after that, we have the review flag activities, whereby our flagged activities are reviewed. So this is where there's a bit of analysis in the flagged activities or transactions from the system. So then stage number 4, this is where we're using our explainable AI so that to justify why these flagged activities or transactions are being named or mentioned as fraudulent. So our explainable AI will allow or will make the user to understand more about that flagged activity. So our last stage of CESA Telco is the feedback and learning system. So this is where the user is allowed to feedback or this is where this is where the user can make review the activities as fraudulent or false positive. By false positive, we mean this. It might happen that the system has detected that a transaction is fraud, whereas in general it is not fraudulent. So our system is able to clarify that. I think I will allow Tsidiso to continue with the other part.
Let me continue with the value proposition before Tsidiso takes on to us into the business model. So what value are we bringing? Now we're bringing reduced financial losses, which means we have quicker fraud detection, which minimizes the potential revenue loss. And then we have increased operational efficiency, where our automated fraud detection reduces the manual interventions of human beings. And then we have enhanced decision making with real-time data-driven insights and explainable AI. Telecom providers can make informed, confident decisions when dealing with fraudulent activities. Then we have other value that we're bringing, which includes boosting trust and transparency, staying ahead of evolving threats, of course. And then then another thing which is mostly important is scale with the business growth. Now we're going to our business model canvas.
Good day, Tim and everyone. So we are now on our business model canvas. I won't waste much time. So on our business model canvas, we will be looking to include key partners, which are financial institutions, telecom companies, data providers, machine learning experts, regulatory bodies, and technology providers. And we will be also touching a little on our value proposition, whereby our value proposition, whereby our value proposition, it will be, firstly, we'll be providing what a accurate and real-time fraud detection system, and number two, it will also reduce financial losses due to fraud or caused by fraud, and number three, our system enhances what customer security, and it is also cost effective. And again, we will be going to our cost structure, whereby this include the cost of building this machine, and sorry guys, and the amount of money needed to develop this system. And then we'll also touch on the customer relationship, whereby this will include the dedicated account managers, customer support services, regular updates and reports, training and on-board sessions. Thank you, guys.
Great.
Thank you. So
you have a minute and a half. Proceed.
Okay. Our solution is special because of the elements that we've included in it. So now what I wanted to show, I want to show the test system, our demo. So just a quick one. So, can everyone see our demo?
Yes, we can see the window. Thank you.
Thank you. This is our system. It is now ready to be integrated with existing systems already. So what is happening here right now? We are having some insights on the transaction trends over time. And now, as the most important part of the system is now the real-time notification section, as you can see here. We have a number here, and then now we are streaming some data that is coming into the system, and this is happening real time. So these transactions that are coming in now, just now, are coming in as real time, and we're able to detect and flag whether this particular transaction is fraudulent or not. So what we have here is a system coming in the data, and then we have our model in place in our hybrid processing engine, and then we have the processing, which gives us then the results. And then if you click more, probably in one of these transactions, you are able to click the Explain with AI button, and then you are going to quickly get an explanation from an AI using Llama 3.1, which is a large language model that helps us get a natural language explanation of why this particular transaction is flagged as fraudulent. And then the combination of explainable AI and big data analytics at the same time enables us to, analyze basically the smallest component that leads to a transaction being flagged as fraudulent. And then later on, we'll be able to use those results from the explainable AI and big data analytics to come up or to identify new types of frauds that are coming in. So other than the ones that our model has been trained to identify. So now this is our system, and it uses explainable AI, and then some big data analytics are happening and then you can review and see some of the details of some of the recent activities that have been occurring. So in conclusion now, this is our architecture of the final system with the data acquisition layer, data processing storage, hybrid processing engine.
Team, you have under 1 minute to please wrap up.
Okay, this is the architecture of the system itself. It includes the system itself, how it is structured, and then the big data analytics engine, and how everything works since I've demonstrated. I think that's all from our presentation. Thank you so much, Tim.
Great, thank you very much. And we are trying to ensure that we keep to time and allocate consistent time for all the teams. Great, last presentation, dear judges, again, thank you so much for your commitment being with us since the morning. and again, being present to offer your expertise and guidance to the students. All right, I will allow some questions to this team, after which we'll go on a break as our judges deliberate and select the winner for this particular segment.
Yeah. So a couple of questions. Okay, firstly, okay, it was a great presentation. Okay, it was very much detailed. Although I would like to understand the demo that you have given. What kind of transactions, okay, were you trying to show? Okay, when somebody was monitoring it, what transactions are those to customers?
Okay, thank you. I'm just going to give you some use cases that we are able to detect using our more machine learning model and our hybrid architecture. So I will use I will use use case scenarios where a fraudster attempts to register multiple prepaid SIM cards using stolen or fake identities. So we are able to capture that particular activity and detect whether it has to do with SIM card fraud or not. And then we have unauthorized call activity. So this is where legitimate customers report excessive international call charges through they did not make those calls. And then another one is credit fraudster applies for multiple postpaid contracts, manipulating their credit scores to appear more favorable. And then we have a fraudster, gaining unauthorized access to a customer's telecom account and changes their service plan or buys high-value items like smartphones or customer accounts or on the customer account. And the last one would be, a fraudster convinces a telecom operator to swap a legitimate customer SIM card to a new device, allowing them to hijack their customer's account. So these are some of the use cases that we develop and that we're using to, show our demo. We have more use cases, including fraudsters signing up for multiple telecom services, and then, customer purchases high-value devices on credit with the intent to sell them and default or on the payments, of course.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so each use case, okay, would be a separate implementation, right? Remember, because now let's say when you're talking about the CDR processing, you're talking again, okay, about millions and billions of events, okay, that you're tracking, and out of that, okay, some of the transactions are going to be flagged as, okay, this is not an ethical call, okay, or ethical CDR which is coming in. So each of your implementation is going to be a separate use case, correct?
Yes, actually, our model is a robust model that we are using. So it's able to, detect these frauds that we mentioned in our presentation. This includes the SIM card fraud, and then this includes basically your credit abuse, device fraud, SIM card fraud, and subscription fraud. If we had time, we would just show you how the model was trained, and then some of the features that were used to try and come up with this system. Because if you look at the architecture that we tried to demonstrate here, the first layer of the system, which is data acquisition, we have the customer registration forms, we have the call details records, we have the network activity logs, we have social media data, and some external credit scores. So all this data is fed into our data processing and storage. So the data processing has two steps, which is the ETL pipeline. The ETL pipeline extracts the data from the various sources and then transforms the data. Then we store the data into our data lake. From the data lake, it goes to the hybrid processing engine, which consists of machine learning models. Since we said this is a hybrid architecture, and then it further uses rule-based systems and real-time streaming processing. So in those cases, in real-time streaming, we're using Kafka Streams, which is a perfect tool for dealing with real-time data. And then from that stage, we go to the model fusion. So that is where it goes to our machine learning model now. The model is trained to identify these different types of fraud, right? So now it fuses into the model, and then we have the decision making now, where it detects whether this kind of fraud is associated with SIM card fraud, or it's associated with credit abuse, or and so on and so forth. Then we can explain with AI reporting and visualizations, then the real-time alerts and notifications.
Great, thank you, Tim.
Thanks, quite detailed, yeah.
One last question for this team, please, to our judges.
Considering the fact that your model appears to be very, very huge, and the fact that some telcos are running on legacy systems, how do you see your model integrating into their system? Have you considered that?
Oh, okay. this model was trained and deployed into our current system that we showed you in our demo. So what it does is it has all the training, and then it understands the features versus, it enables to identify the pattern from the features that it has been given. So if you use any of the features that we highlighted in our data acquisition stage, so be it your network records, your customer registration forms, and so on and so forth, the model is still going to be able to pick those kinds of bits and pieces of that data that is coming in, and be able to identify that based on these particular features, this is the type of fraud that is suspected, or this is not a suspicious activity at all. And then the person can review, and then at the same time, again, give the feedback to the model itself, so that it learns again that, okay, this was a false positive or not. I'm not sure whether I'm answering your questions or not.
That's okay. Thank you.
Great. Is there one last quick question? Yes, please.
Does it only detect fraud, or it also prevents fraud? From what you're saying, I pick up that you're mentioning that it detects fraud that has already occurred. So does it also detect potential for cases?
Oh, okay. As I mentioned about the hybrid architecture we're talking about, it accesses the data as it is coming in. Let's say, for example, that particular customer is trying to register for this particular SIM card, and then using the various sources of data that we are acquiring the data from the previous network records, previous social media data, and then and other elements that we are trying to analyze. So we're able to just pick up that information that is coming in. If it's just the registration information that is coming in, we're able to quickly go through the past data that we have. The model itself will pick up the data that is coming in, compare it with whatever that it has and whatever that is learned, and then it's going to flag that activity. If, for example, that particular person is a fraudster trying to use a fake identity, it will be able to just capture at the moment that particular client registers and the data is available in the system, and then it's going to indicate whether this is a potential fraudulent activity even before we complete the registration process. So once we capture the data, we can perform some analysis in it using our model.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bandile and team. We are at the very end of the presentations. Thank you to our audience for tuning in, and to our judges once again, but specifically to Amdocs for all the support. Amdocs is one of the, as Satish said, the most consistent partners for Telkom and for SATNAC over multiple decades. And with the same investment and the same commitment strategically that Telkom and SATNAC has in developing young talent, this is why this partnership works. As we said earlier, Amdocs has committed not only the prizes that will be given to the student, but the time of the experts, the other multiple resources that have been applied to train these young people, and for that we're truly, truly grateful. So we are going to take a short break, our last break of the day, as our judges deliberate and tally the scores for this particular session, incorporating, as we said, the team Cyber Gang that presented in the customer support session. So thank you very much. We'll take a short break, and we'll be back shortly with the last judge feedback as well as the results for this session. Thank you.
We're living through an age of wow moments. There are signs of the incredible digitally driven progress reshaping every aspect of our lives. But this amazing era doesn't just happen. It depends on the work of visionary companies who depend on a seamless digital world, where advanced networks, clouds, and business systems form the engine that keep us moving forward. At Amdocs, we're empowering our customers' digital transformation. We get to know their businesses better than anyone, building their foundations for the future, partnering with them at every step of their innovation journey to turn their boldest ideas into reality, so they can make billions of users feel like VIPs, so they can make the leaps forward that make society tick and industry talk. Behind the experiences that make the world say, wow, you'll find us, helping those who shape the future to make it amazing. Amdocs. Make it amazing. We're living through an age of wow moments. There are signs of the incredible digitally driven progress reshaping every aspect of our lives. But this amazing era doesn't just happen. It depends on the work of visionary companies who depend on a seamless digital world where advanced networks, clouds, and business systems form the engine that keep us moving forward. At Amdocs, we're empowering our customers' digital transformation. We get to know their businesses better than anyone, building their foundations for the future, partnering with them at every step of their innovation journey to turn their boldest ideas into reality so they can make billions of users feel like VIPs. So they can make the leaps forward that make society tick and industry talk. Behind the experiences that make the world say, wow, you'll find us, helping those who shape the future to make it amazing. Amdocs. Make it amazing. We're living through an age of wow moments. There are signs of the incredible digitally driven progress reshaping every aspect of our lives. But this amazing era doesn't just happen. It depends on the work of visionary companies who depend on a seamless digital world where advanced networks, clouds, and business systems form the engine that keep us moving forward. At Amdocs, we're empowering our customers' digital transformation. We get to know their businesses better than anyone, building their foundations for the future, partnering with them at every step of their innovation journey to turn their boldest ideas into reality so they can make billions of users feel like VIPs. So they can make the leaps forward that make society tick and industry talk. Behind the experiences that make the world say, wow, you'll find us helping those who shape the future to make it amazing. Amdocs. Make it amazing.
Thank you very much for staying with us, and we are back now with the moment of truth. But before the moment of truth, it's a lesson that we can all learn about this particular topic in terms of fraud detection. I liked what Promise asked earlier to another team to say, are the solutions applicable to telco also, but across other industries as well? I think fraud is, unfortunately, proliferate across a number of industries. So before we go to the final scores, let me give a chance to our expert judges to just give a reflection about this topic, about its complexity, challenging us as industry, challenging us as academia, challenging us as government, and maybe even in regulation as well. What's the big challenge from your side in terms of how do we tackle fraud moving forward? But also any feedback to the students, that will be appreciated.
Yeah, first of all, I think that the presentations were great. Fraud is the biggest issue that we are faced with in the digital age. I don't think we'll ever be able to eliminate it. It is more about preventing it as much as possible. And I think we've had some wonderful solutions in that respect. All the presenters were great. They had thought about it. You could see that the research were deeper in understanding the various forms of fraud that is happening within our space. I think we need to do a lot more. AI is coming, but AI is going to empower the people in the dark world a lot more than those of us who are in the light. So we need to do a lot more in understanding the patterns of fraud in order to be able to build solutions that are able to help us detect fraud and possibly prevent them. So I think this is the first step. Some of the solutions, some of the ideas were brilliant, and I love them. I love the fact that they are combining different models together to be able to help predict how fraud could be detected, because if you're able to do that, then it makes a lot more sense. I can cite a typical example about the financial services space, where because of image, they don't talk about the fraud. Because immediately you're able to, you put it out that you've been defrauded, your brand image goes down, people won't trust you. But it's happening and happening across the world in large scale. So I think this is a very big issue that we should be paying a lot more attention, especially my colleague researchers, that we need to dig deeper into the psyche of these fraudsters and what their modus operandi are. And I think that we are able to get some headway going forward. Great presentations. Yeah.
Absolutely. I have to agree, those were great presentations. Those were amazing. And I must say that because you had 10 minutes, in that 10 minutes, then you need to be sure that you're giving what the problem is and what the solution is. In most of these presentations, we get what we're looking for after we've asked the questions. So in the future, when you're doing presentations, from that 10 minutes that you're given, be able to bring what's needed. Also, understanding of the different types of fraud across all industries. That kind of research, I think it was needed more. When you understand that, then you understand what type of solution that can be brought. There was a team that was talking about SIM swaps, and I loved that idea. However, it's good to also highlight what types of fraud cases are there because of SIM swaps. But overall, you guys did great. You did amazing. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Satish?
Yeah, I think as I was saying at the beginning, one thing that I was looking forward to is interacting with these young brains, and they never let us down. First of all, kudos to all of you, each one of you. The kind of enthusiasm that I have seen in each one of the presentation and the presenters, it's simply mind-blowing. That's one of the main things that we want to take out of these kind of challenges, is more than the actual technical solution, the kind of understanding of the problem that you are presenting, and also the way that you have researched, the way you have presented. Like Promise said, the 10 minutes that you have, it is not easy. We are trying to give presentation that takes more than 2 hours, and we are still not able to give what we want to say. So it's not an easy one to do, and do not be kind of demotivated in terms of you were not able to give everything that you have prepared. What you have got, your solution is, we managed to see the potential in each one of these solutions was very, very well articulated, and well done to each one of you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, Satish.
Yeah, thank you. I must agree with all. Okay, the kind of preparations, okay, that the students have done, okay, and came to this stage. I must tell, okay, that we have only witnessed 4 teams, okay, but there were plenty of other teams, okay, with plenty of different solutions, okay, that came across various frauds, okay, that happened today. So yeah, well done, okay, well done to each one of you. The kind of solutions, okay, that you are bringing, leveraging on the technology, and okay, taking okay into the right direction. Of course, okay, as the professor also mentioned, okay, that this frauds are never going to be eliminated. Okay, means these fraudsters are always one step ahead from us. But yes, if we are into the right step, okay, taking each step at one time, okay, and trying to eliminate, okay, all this frauds, okay, we will definitely win. Thank you.
Great. Thank you so much, everyone. And again, in almost summarizing some of the key things that we heard today, fraud is scary because it undermines a lot of the effort that we are achieving, as a country, that we are achieving in multiple industries, even in terms of the impact on society. We have had many examples, financial services, where, some of the most impoverished or struggling families and businesses, small businesses, are defrauded, and that by itself has a significant, impact in the progress of our people. It's not just the impact on businesses or on industry. And the CEO of Amdocs told us earlier when we were speaking about customer support that these things are contextual, right? And I think we're seeing a bit of this in the solutions, but in the challenge we are throwing is Professor Thomas is talking about the psyche of these criminals. It's not the same in South Africa as it is, in other parts of the world. So allowing ourselves back to homegrown research to understand what's the thinking of the criminals in our context, right? What patterns of how we live, how we handle money, how we transact, make it easier, right? A lot of the social ways that they approach, right? How they fish us, as an example, it plays into how we think. And incredible work to all of our students. And my heart is warmed just to hear, Satish is an executive from Amdocs, and truly all of this expert here, hearing their commitment to supporting the growth and development of young people in South Africa. Truly, again, very highly appreciated. And with that, we are going to move on now to Satish, who has received from the control team what the judges have resolved as the winner of this particular topic. Just to remind everyone, this was a challenge looking at intelligent solutions for fraud detection, specifically in telecommunications companies at sales point in postpaid and prepaid scenarios. Satish?
Sure. Just before I say it, each one of you is a winner, just for the fact that you were able to be out of so many people that competed in the SATNAC hackathon and being able to be selected and presented into the top 4 teams, 5 teams, whatever it is. You all are winners, and well done to each one of you. However, as the competition rule goes, the winning team is Team Eswatini from Swaziland. All of the people are from the University of Eswatini. I will try to pronounce the name as close as I can. Bandile Malaza, Tsidzo Hlope, Wandile Hlatswako. Well done to each one of you. Thank you.
Excellent. Thank you very much to this team from Eswatini, and again to every one of you who participated in this challenge. When we began, this topic must have had, again, 15 over teams, and for you all to have made it here as finalists, you have to be very proud of yourselves. We have heard today that what you received over the last 4 months is indeed a masterclass into being professionals in industry, knowing how to present. You went through weeks of being, trained on how to present. And what we saw today, again, it's I'm extremely proud, just looking back to how far you have come. Again, lastly, to Pratik, who was our subject matter expert from Amdocs. Thank you for all the hours that you committed to this. Thank you for your expertise. And on behalf of all of us at Telkom and all of us at SATNAC, truly, thank you, Amdocs. We appreciate your partnership and look forward to seeing you at SATNAC.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
We're living through an age of wow moments. There are signs of the incredible digitally driven progress reshaping every aspect of our lives. But this amazing era doesn't just happen. It depends on the work of visionary companies who depend on a seamless digital world where advanced networks, clouds, and business systems form the engine that keep us moving forward. At Amdocs, we're empowering our customers' digital transformation. We get to know their businesses better than anyone, building their foundations for the future, partnering with them at every step of their innovation journey to turn their boldest ideas into reality so they can make billions of users feel like VIPs. So they can make the leaps forward that make society tick and industry talk. Behind the experiences that make the world say, wow, you'll find us helping those who shape the future to make it amazing. Amdocs. Make it amazing. We're living through an age